This is the Doona. It's an infant car seat and a stroller in one. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use it and install it. A couple key things about the Doona that I want you to be aware of. It is obviously a car seat and stroller in one of the very few on the market, which makes it super unique. It has the ability to be installed baseless, which means we can collapse this and install it without the base that it comes with. You can also install it with the base as well. The other cool thing is that this handle becomes an anti-rebound bar in the car. I'm gonna show you exactly how to install it in a minute, but first let me show you how to collapse it so you can get it in the car when the time comes. Lock the wheel. You're gonna change the handle position to the center. So I'm pushing on these buttons on the side. Pull it up to the center until it kind of clicks and locks in place. And then on the back of the seat, there's a lever here that you're going to squeeze together, push in with your foot on the front wheels, and it collapses down. And now you're ready to either install it just like this, using the belt path in the back for a baseless European install, or you can put it on the base. Let me show you both ways. All right, let's go ahead and install with the lower anchor connectors. They are stored here, so we're gonna release them from their storage spot. Get this part ready. It's already, the strap on the seat's already routed the way you want it to be, with it straight, no twists, and stapler side up. Before we actually install it, we are gonna change the recline. So on this base, there's a knob here, and you can see this footer, this part, is slowly dropping down, right? This is what is gonna change the level, the angle at which your baby is positioned in the car seat. That recline angle is critically important, especially for our babies without neck control, because it keeps their head back and their airway open. So recline is not optional. It's necessary for breathing and for optimal crash protection. The thing with recline on bases like this is it's a little bit of trial and error, because after, I'm gonna kind of get an initial read on the recline indicator, which I'll show you. But after I install it tightly, that recline could shift a little bit, which means I may have to uninstall and start over. That's the hardest part of the process though, don't worry. You know what? I think car seat 101 installation, you have to put your hair up. Okay, there we go. All right, so the indicator here for me, I'm gonna push down a little bit since we know that that's what's gonna happen when I install the seat. The white ball is directly in the green part of the recline indicator, and that's what's required on this seat. So far so good for kind of the initial read on the recline indicator. For the lower anchor connectors, again, as I said, there's no twists. It's routed correctly. It's stapler side up. I'm gonna attach it to a designated lower anchor position right here in my car. Maybe. And then I'm gonna do the same on the other side. All right, so now we are attached to the vehicle seat, but obviously it's not tightly installed yet. So that is our next step. Push the base all the way up against the vehicle seat back, grab the tail of the lower anchor connector strap. Now it's super common for people to pull this way with the tail, but you're never gonna be able to get a super tight installation, and you're gonna spend a lot of time sweating and swearing if you do that. So instead, take this tail, weave it up and under towards your body, and you're gonna pull it towards you. See how that slack came out so easy? Now I'm just gonna add some leverage, right? So I'm gonna push down on one side of the base and pull, do it on the other, shimmy it a couple times till I get all that slack out. And now I'm gonna do the test for tightness. It's not moving more than an inch, but I like it to be a little bit tighter. So I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm just gonna pull that extra slack out. Now we're better. Now we're not moving really at all. And again, the final check is the recline indicator. So for me, the white little circle is still within the green part required on the recline indicator. If it's not for you, you're going to, sometimes you can turn this knob and change the angle of this panel, like the up and down of the footer. which you probably can do while it's installed. But if for some reason that's too difficult, just uninstall. You saw how quickly we can get a lower anchor connector strap installed and tightened, so no problem, you can do the same. I've got to put mine back up where it was though. All right, we are good to go in terms of the recline indicator and the tightness of the lower anchor connector straps. The final step is to put the car seat, the stroller part car seat, on the base. So let's do that. All right, let's get the kiddo in the car seat. You're gonna pop it right in until it connects to the base. You're gonna check the handle, make sure that the seat is firmly locked into the base, and you're also gonna check back here that the indicator has turned from red to green. That's how you'll also know that you are good to go and locked in place. This might make some movement, guys. It might make some sound. As long as you can't pull up on the handle and release it, and you have green back here on the indicator, your seat is safely installed. The final step is to take this handle here, use the buttons on the side, and push it back into this mode. This now becomes an anti-rebound bar, which is an added safety feature. It's okay if it does not touch the vehicle seat back, okay? You want it to just go to the furthest position back towards your vehicle seat. So now you have safely installed the Doona with lower anchor connectors. It's really personal preference if you want to use the lower anchor connectors or the vehicle seatbelt to install the Doona base. I'm going to uninstall with the lower anchors. All I'm doing is pushing on the little red button, and I am going to store them because I'm going to show you how to seatbelt install the base. All right. So our lower anchors are stored. Now we are going to get ready for seatbelt installation. So same thing as what we just did with the lower anchor connectors. Vehicle seat back is in the most upright position. We're going to adjust the recline first. We're going to get an initial read on the recline indicator. Because I'm in the same vehicle using a seatbelt installation method, I don't really need to change my recline. But again, just in case you're picking up this video from here, you're going to use the knob to adjust the footer. Get it lined up on your vehicle seat until you get the white circle within the green. Before we get to the seatbelt installation, if you have trouble achieving the recline angle, which is absolutely required to have that white circle in the green part of the indicator, you can use a rolled towel. So you would get sort of the thinnest one possible to start. You're gonna place it here under the base of your seat closest to the vehicle seat back, and you're putting the footer portion of the base on that towel, and then you're going to install the seat. It may mean that, again, you have to change the level, right? How tall or short that footer is, but you're gonna play with it until you can get that white circle in the green indicator. So this is what it would look like when it is fully installed. I don't need to do that for this specific vehicle, so I'm gonna take it out, but I wanted you to be aware that that's an option if you need to use it. All right, lower anchor connectors are stored. We've got the recline. Oh, I don't have it right. I've got to pull my footer out a little bit more. Okay, now my white circle is within the green. And again, it may change a little bit after I install it tightly. We'll do a final check at the end. For seatbelt installation, you're going to route it here under this opening. Make sure your seatbelt is not twisted in any way. Do the same on this side. Buckle it in. And you know what? I don't like, I'm gonna fix something. This might happen to you too. I don't like where my lower anchor connector buckle is here. I'm gonna loosen the lower anchor connector strap a bit so that I can get that to hang down a little bit lower. It's just in my way and I don't like it. So I'm gonna store this again. Okay, now it's kind of, it's out of my belt path now, so I feel better about that. All right, round two. Grab the seatbelt, route it through. Both the lap and shoulder belt are going through here. Buckle it in. All right, again, we're attached to the vehicle, but we're not safely installed. So with this seat, you're gonna lock the vehicle seatbelt next, pull it out. You may have to turn it in a couple ways to fully get all that webbing out. I hear the ratcheting sound. I know it's locked. This is the most common way to lock vehicle seatbelts, but check your vehicle manual if yours isn't working this way. Okay, so I'm gonna get that sort of easy slack out, but now I've got to really do the work to get the seat tightly installed. So separate the shoulder belt from the lap belt. Push down with one hand. I kind of go one side to the other. You can see the lap belt tightening around the base. All this slack I'm getting out. Don't lose your hard work. Hold on tight. Pull it up into the retractor. Just like that. I'm going to do a quick check. And then the final step for this seat is to lock this blue lock off here. So the shoulder belt goes inside of it and you lock it in. Final test for tightness, not moving more than an inch in any direction. And a look again at my recline indicator, and it's good to go. The base is installed. Now let's put the carrier portion on the base. All right, let's get the carrier portion safely secured in the base. You heard it click in place, but I want you to do two other things to make sure that it's firmly secured in the base. Pull up on the handle. It might wiggle a little bit. That's totally normal. What you're looking for is when you pull up, that you can't release it. So that part's good to go. And then there's also an indicator on the back that when you pop it in, it's gonna turn from red to green. The final step is to take this handle and to move it back into the anti-rebound bar position. This is an added safety feature when you add an anti-rebound bar to a seat, so make sure you utilize it. It's required. And don't be worried if it's not touching the vehicle seat back. It's still gonna do its job. That's how you install the Doona base with a seatbelt. Another method to install the Doona is without the base at all. So this is going to be called a baseless installation. The preferred method for baseless installation on this seat is called a European routing method. You can use it anywhere, even though it's called European. And that means that the shoulder belt portion of the vehicle seat is going to route behind it. If for some reason yours isn't long enough to be able to do that, then you can use what's called the American routing, which again can be used anywhere. And that's where both the lap and shoulder belt go. They are routed right here. So check your manual if you need to use that kind. I'm going to show you the European routing because it's a preferred method of baseless installation. So once you've got your Doona on the vehicle seat, do an initial recline adjustment. The recline line is here on the side of the seat. It's this red line. You want to get it parallel with flat ground. So the ground has to be parallel. Line your recline line up with it as best you can. After we install the seat, it's going to shift a little and we may have to adjust the recline, but give yourself just kind of an initial read on it. Then take your handlebar and place it back in the anti-rebound position as well, which is pushing it back towards the vehicle seat back. Again, it does not have to be touching the vehicle seat back to be installed properly. It just has to be in that final locked position. So now we've got an initial read on the recline adjustment, and we've got our handle in the proper position. Let's install this thing. So I'm going to take the seat belt. The lap belt portion is going to route here through what's called the belt guides. The belt guides are on the handle part of the Doona, and buckle it in. Now, because we're going to be using the European method, I've got to get the shoulder belt back behind the car seat. So you can do it from this position where I'm on the side. You could also get behind the seat if you wanted to. Pull the shoulder belt out. There's a blue guide in the back. You're going to route the shoulder belt through that blue guide and pull it up. My seat belt is already locked, meaning I pulled it out the entire way just to get the shoulder belt portion around the back of the seat. We want it to lock, so that's fine. If yours didn't lock yet, pull it out until you hear that ratcheting sound when you're weaving it back in, and you'll know the seatbelt is locked. Okay, it's locked, it's in the car, but it's not installed tightly yet. So now we've got to get any extra slack out of the lap belt that we can and weave it back up into this retractor. So to do that, I'm going to come over here by where the lap and shoulder belt are and start pulling this way. Easiest I find to do it by the buckle and then sort of route it to your other hand, but I'm using the top part of my body to kind of push on the seat. I'm in my usual position. If you watch a lot of our YouTube installation videos, my leg is always up here because I'm pushing the seat in with my leg. Where are you? There you are. And I'm pulling that slack up and into the retractor. Let's see if I got it tight enough. Oh yeah, It's not moving more than an inch. Now the final check is that recline line, because it could have shifted when I was doing all that stuff with the seat, and it did. So just shimmy your seat until you get that recline even with parallel ground. And there you go. That's how you do a European installation method, baseless for the Doona. I hope you found this video helpful and that you feel far more confident about the 3 different ways that you can install the Doona. This is such a great option for you if you are looking for this unique car seat and stroller option. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any more questions about the Doona, drop them in the description below and we'll be sure to answer.